Yes, mate, how's it going? My name's Lee, and welcome back to the FPL Punk YouTube channel, where we try to dominate FPL one game week at a time. In today's video, I will do an in-progress game week 16 review, then I'll discuss my team selection for game week 17, talk about my current transfer plans, and then look at the best captain. And just a heads up, I've already taken a -8. If you enjoy FPL content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and drop a comment down below and tell me what transfers you plan to make for game week 17. Anyway, let's rock and roll.
Be strong.
Right, mates, first of all, we need to discuss my in-progress game week 16 review. And it's not been great, mates. It's not been great. My overall live rank has dropped about 40k. I'm about 33 points so far from the week, and there's been not a lot of return so far in this. I'm recording this about 15 minutes into the 7 o'clock games. Chelsea's currently 0-0, and Spurs are beating Southampton 3-0. Absolutely smashing them, like it could be another 9-0 on the cards. Verbruggen and Trent with the one-pointers. Really poor. Brighton just aren't the team that... I've had a Brighton keeper for quite a long time now, and he's done nothing. Feels like a bad decision. I don't like it, and I don't know who I can go to, so not a lot I can do there. Gabriel with a massive 9-pointer for me, but a lot of people own him. Arsenal kept a clean sheet, got maximum bonus. 8-0 with an absolute joke, like absolute final send-off from the team. He's on a 0-pointer, final whistle goes, gets sent off after the final whistle, gets a red card as a result, which brings his score down to a -2. There's not much more I can say for that. Palmer and Enzo, currently both on 1-pointers. Palmer's my captain, so he's coming up to 2 points. Saka with a blank once again, 3 points. Salah with just the assist. The sending off just massively skewed the game for Liverpool. I think they did pretty well to get the 2-2, to be honest. Jean Pedro with a blank, Chris Wood with a blank, and Cunha with a massive 9-pointer. I'm hoping for something from Palmer and Enzo tonight. I don't know if they're going to be able to or not. Up against quite a poor Brentford team away from home. Probably going to be a big red L for me. I can see it maybe being down to 50, 60k. Is what it is. Like, I'm not too concerned right now. Let's take a look at my team for game week 17, and I've already taken a -8, so it could be even more red arrows. So my goalkeeper and my defense for game week 17, you can see I've now got Fabianski on the bench, which is one of my transfers that I've made. So I took Flecken down to Fabianski just to free up some funds. I also took 8 Nora and transferred him to Lewis Hall. Feels a bit reactionary bringing Lewis Hall in, but this was the plan last week to bring in Lewis Hall, and it just feels strange I'm doing it on the back of a massive haul that he got. If I didn't go Lewis Hall, I probably would have looked at something like a Howson for Bournemouth. I just needed better rotation with the likes of Vandenberg and Anderson. I didn't want another cheap guy down there like I wanted minimum 4.5. I looked at Colwell ever so slightly, but Anderson, if he does get back fit for him, I've got some good fixtures and I would like to play him at some point. And I feel like the rotation with Anderson and Lewis Hall works pretty well, so that's the reason why I went down that route instead. There is a strong consideration that I might play Fabianski over Verbruggen for this game. I just don't think Verbruggen's playing well. He's not as good of a goalkeeper as I thought he was. I'm not hopeful of clean sheets like any time Brighton plays or Verbruggen plays. So one of those, I feel like I need to stick with him and just kind of see how he does in the long run. He's only 4.5 million, 3.1% owned, so he's got really low ownership. Terrible goalkeeper. I feel like I don't want to make many transfers in my goalkeeper position, and I've already made one with Fabianski now. But Fabianski might be worth playing for this week, depending on how good West Ham look Monday night. Moving on to Trent, disappointing to get the 1-pointer, but it's just one of those game states where a player gets sent off, and it is what it is sometimes, like it happens. Still happy I did it. I probably should have brought Virgil van Dijk in, because that would have forced me to only take a -4. Because I brought Trent in, I've had to take a -8 to bring in a player in the forward line, which I'll talk about later on. After the Spurs game, they've got some nice games with the likes of Leicester, West Ham, Man United, and Nottingham Forest. I just don't see a reason not to start and play Trent every single week. I just think he's an absolute beast, so as a result, I'm just going to keep playing him. Gabriel with 2 good games coming up, Crystal Palace away and Ipswich at home. We all know how good Arsenal can be defensively. Over this 5-game run, like, it wouldn't surprise me if they get 3 or 4 clean sheets. So I think Arsenal are back from a defensive point of view. Really happy playing him. Really happy that I own him. If I could put another Arsenal defender alongside him, I'd prefer that, because I feel like everybody owns Gabriel. But it is what it is, and I just need to kind of go with it and just kind of stick with the team I've got right now. Lewis Hall, I just think he's a great pickup. I feel like his Hall in his most recent game against Leicester, that feels like it's been coming for a couple of weeks now. And when Man United played Chelsea a couple seasons ago, I think we beat them 3-0. 2-0, 3-0, and Lewis Hall was playing left back, and he got maximum bonus for him, which like I've always kind of kept my eye on him since then. I just think he's a really good player, and it's nice to see him that he's actually getting some minutes for Newcastle as well. Ipswich away, great game, followed by Villa, Man United, Spurs, and then Wolves after that. I've got some decent coverage on the bench with the likes of Vandenberg and Anderson. If Anderson does come back from injury, I'd very much like to play Anderson at some point, so it'd be really nice to get Anderson back. Overall, probably not the greatest goalkeeping defense, and the -8 is probably going to hurt me quite a lot this week, but I feel like these are changes that I needed to make. I might drop down to maybe 100k, but I think over the long term, I think these changes are going to help me start to build up some free transfers, which is my plan now, to maybe roll the free transfers for 2 or 3 weeks in a row now, try and build up those free transfers once again. But yeah, can't complain. My defense and goalkeeper look okay for the next few weeks. Moving on to the midfield, and first up we've got Cole Palmer. Great run of games there now. His price has gone up to 11.1 million, 62.8% owned. And Chelsea just have a great run of games there now. Everton away, Fulham at home, Ipswich away, Crystal Palace, and Bournemouth. And you've just got to play him, and he's a strong consideration for captaincy away to Everton. We all know how good and resolute Everton can be at home, so whether that's maybe something that I need to consider. I have got Enzo Fernandez. I'm also going to start him because the only other player that I've got is Eze, and I would be tempted to play. And with Eze only getting 59 minutes in the most recent game, and with an Arsenal defender, I don't like the idea of playing a Crystal Palace attacker. Enzo again, as long as he keeps playing that advanced position, I think he's going to be perfectly fine as an asset. I feel like his ownership is going to go through the roof over the next couple of weeks, just with this great run of games there now. And if he does keep up his form, I'm not expecting major things from him. If he can get a return maybe every 3 games or so, whether that's a goal or an assist for 5 million, I don't think you can complain with that. I don't like the idea of selling Eze. I would like to keep him because Crystal Palace's fixtures do get better in a couple of weeks, and then I've already got him ready to go, so he can come straight into the team around game week 18 or so. And around that point, I wouldn't mind benching Enzo just because of his price, and I feel like you need to play your better players like when it gets to certain points. And Enzo, I wouldn't mind him being first sub when it comes to that. I do think he is the best value for money. I think you could probably argue that Ahmad is also good value. I've just seen him in the Manchester derby where Ahmad got an assist and scored a good goal as well. I do think he's a good option, and as long as he keeps playing in that advanced role, I think he's going to be great. If he's going to play in that role all the time, I'm not entirely sure. If he does, great option, just something to keep an eye on. I'd probably wait and see with Ahmad for a couple of weeks. We've got a couple nice games there now, followed by 2 or 3 tough games, so I don't feel like you need to rush in there and buy Ahmad straight away. Just probably something just to keep an eye on for now. Bukayo Saka is blanked from the last 3 games or so, and it's about time that he got back into some goal-scoring form, and hopefully does that up against Crystal Palace away. Tough game, but I think Saka's so good that returns just always around the corner. Followed by Ipswich at home, Brentford away, Brighton away, and Spurs at home. I think they're all good games for Saka just because of how good he is. And last but not least, we've got Mo Salah away to Spurs. I think it's a good game for Salah. I think every game is good for Salah. I don't think it matters where he plays or who he's playing against. I just think he's good regardless. So I've got no concerns about playing Salah in this one. And he's strong consideration for captaincy once again. And then after the Spurs game, he's got Leicester at home, West Ham away, Man United at home, and Nottingham Forest away. Great asset, and he's just an absolute monster. Like even when they go down to 10 men, he still gets an assist and comes away with a 5-pointer. Absolute beast, and he just keeps doing what he's doing every single week. Really happy with the midfield. I'm happy playing all of these. Shame that Eze's got a tough fixture because I would like to play him sooner rather than later. But it is what it is. Let's take a look at the forwards. Last but not least, we've got the forwards. And first up, you can see that I've got Alexander Isak in my team. I bought him last night, and that was basically the whole reason I've taken a -8. I had 8 Nori that I wanted to transfer. I needed to raise some funds, and the only way to do that was to take Flecken down to Fabianski, and that gave me just enough money to take Cunha up to Isak. And I know it's a bit reactionary because of how he's played recently, and I've owned him a few game weeks ago when he got injured. I just think he's a beast, and I feel like I need to capitalise on him, and I felt I just needed to bring him in. And with Ipswich away, Aston Villa at home, Man United away, Spurs away, and Wolves at home, I think they were all good games for Alexander Isak and Newcastle. We've all seen historically that Newcastle haven't been a great away from home. Whether that replicates over this run of games remains to be seen. I think Isak will score goals regardless. I think he's an absolute beast. My only concern is that is that he's always had injury issues, and that's just something just to keep an eye on. And if he does pick up anything, then we just need to reassess from there. But really happy owning him from now and just kind of see how he does. His price has gone up to 8.7 million, 25% owned. Is a beast, and I think he's going to be heavily owned. I think it's even a strong consideration for captaincy away to Ipswich. Maybe not sure if I'm going to do it for now. I'm going to compare two captaincy options later on in the video. Isak's not in there, unfortunately. Isak's probably third or fourth. I could do think is a great option. But yeah, I'm really happy that I own him. Still got Chris Wood for now, and as long as Forest are scoring goals and they're picking up points, I think Chris Wood's a great option. Like if you would have told me that Nottingham Forest were going to win 2-1 on the weekend and Chris Wood wasn't going to get involved, then I wouldn't have believed you. Really, I'm still really happy owning him. Like I still think he'll score goals. I still think he'll tick along nicely. I think there's a lot of people that have sold him and that are probably going to start to bring him back sooner rather than later. And as a result of that, I just don't see the point in selling him anytime soon. I'm just going to keep him and just see how he does. I think for the price I bought him at, as well at like 6.1 million, I think I just need to hold him and just kind of see how he does. Decent run of games coming up as well. His ownership is dropping, but his price is kind of fluctuating, kind of going up and down ever so slightly. And I think people will look to bring Chris Wood back in when he's got the Everton away game or the Wolves away game. Last but not least, João Pedro, and shocker, like as soon as I bring him in, like he stops getting returns. West Ham away, Brentford at home, Aston Villa away, Arsenal at home, Ipswich away. I think he's got a good run of games there now, and he could easily do something in this run of games. I'm just not hopeful of minutes. I'm not hopeful of returns. Brighton just look like a completely different team. But again, like the price I bought him at like 5.6, 5.7, I think it's just a case of keeping him and just kind of see how he does. Overall, pretty happy with my forward line. Really happy that I own Isak, and it's cost me a -8, which I don't love. But I feel like the sooner you make the hits, then you've got more chance of recouping any of those gains. It is what it is sometimes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I feel like I'm probably going to lose this week in game week 17, but I'll be back with a vengeance over game week 18, 19, and 20. Right, mates, in my opinion, there's two main captaincy options for game week 17. That's Cole Palmer and Mo Salah. I discussed a couple of players throughout. Like I think Isak's probably a decent option as well. I'm just not convinced of that Newcastle away form, and that's what puts me off a little bit. I've got some predicted points in the middle there. So Cole Palmer's predicted to get 6.8 points away to Everton, according to FPL Review, as opposed to Salah 6.6. So that one's very, very close there. Fantasy Football Hub predicts Cole Palmer's going to get 7.1 points, and exactly the same for Mo Salah, 7.1 points. I do think Palmer's got the better fixture away to Everton, as opposed to Salah's away at Spurs. It all kind of depends on who have Spurs got back in terms of defensive options. If they're still playing the likes of Dragusin and Archie Gray centre back, then maybe Salah might be the one to go for. But like if they do manage to get some of the bigger boys back, or they figure something out, then Salah might be the one. Just play it by ear throughout the course of the week. But probably right now, I think Cole Palmer's probably the better one, and he has got a decent record up against Everton as well. But he's got, whereas previously he's played 4 games against them and he's got 3 goals. But Salah's got a pretty good record against Spurs as well, with 14 games, 9 goals, 2 assists. If he gets any kind of return, like he seems to get max bonus, so Salah probably feels like the smart play, but the higher upside play probably feels like Cole Palmer. As of right now, which is Sunday evening, I'm probably going to captain Cole Palmer, but it's very, very close, this one. And as the week progresses, I might lean more towards Mo Salah, or might even take a cheeky differential punt on the likes of some like Alexander Isak. If you're not captain either of these, or you are captain either of these, leave a comment down below and tell me who you're captaining and why. Right, mates, that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. So we did an in-progress review of my game week 16 performance, and then looked at my game week 17 team selection. Went through each player and each position one by one. Discussed the reason why I took my -8 and some transfer options throughout the video, and then we looked at the captaincy for game week 17. And as of right now, I am going to captain Cole Palmer, but I can see the reason why people might want to captain Mo Salah, and I might be convinced over the course of the week. But let's just wait and see. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and drop a comment down below. Have a good day. Peace and love.